It's time to do. Alright. I have a stack of cards. Now, this is my old deck, which I can't find my other card. Anyway, there's a point that I'm trying to make, but hold on for a second. Alright, so I have the side deck. These are my decks for Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. It's just there for me. If I get bored sometime, I'll play it by myself, usually. But anyway, this is story beat. Well, it's just, and you know what this is, right? It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards was perhaps my life back then. We used to play cards. So there's a story behind why I made this video, right? This video pertained to this quote that I'm gonna give you today. We cannot change the cards we are dealt, only how we play the card. I mean, only how we play the hand, by Pausch. He died of cancer, but I think he was a professor, but I can't remember. I watched his video, and I realized if we take that meaning to the quote, that let's say you were dealt with bad hands, right? Let's say that in life you wasn't born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You didn't have the stuff that the other kids has. You didn't have the reason why when we were dealt with bad hand, what can we do? Like, if we think about this, do we have a choice to change our life? I don't know. You tell me. You know, it's very interesting how my life plays out, right? My life plays out very interestingly. Very interesting. Like, I grew up hating my life, actually. I always wanted my life to be different. You know, I always was that kid who want something different from, I don't know, I didn't want it to be, I guess in the same way I did want to fit in with the crowd, but then I wanted to be different so people can pay attention to me, because I was a class clown. But, you know, of course, I'm not trying to say, I mean, there's a story, but I will tell you the story, right? These cards, when people say these are for kids, right? You know, I remember I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards with my friends back in boarding school. People would say, oh, these cards, what are you doing? It's for kids, right? And I'll tell you, I kid you not, that the thing that go into these things are, like, it's almost like chess, if you will. It's like strategy, right? But nobody see that. It's only the person who see that strategy, because you have to deal with the monsters, right? And you have to deal with spells and traps, especially if you're playing with an opponent who's really good at destroying your deck, and you go. But anyway, when it comes to, let's say we dealt with bad hand. Let's say I didn't play with my. There's this. Of course, what I'm trying to say is, this is not the deck that I used to play with my friends. It was, but there was another deck. I have multiple decks, but I gave it away. When it comes to people saying this is just for kids or stuff like that, when you play, it's not for kids, because it takes a certain brain power to actually activate your strategy, thinking how you're gonna carefully attack or carefully defend. You know, you would summon a monster, and you don't know if that's a monster will survive, or you put it in defense face down. You know, there's effects. Now, of course, I'm not up to date with Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore, but I have other things that I need to worry about. So let's say you and I were dealt with bad hand. What can we do to change our circumstances, right? I've been dealt with bad hands. Trust me, I've been dealt with bad hands. More than most people think. You know, I have heartbroken. Dog bit me when I was trick-or-treating when I was in 5th grade. I think that I was like, 9 or 10. You know, it was a scary moment for me when I feel like, when I thought it was a nightmare, I thought it was a dream when the dog bit me, I didn't have the silver spoon in my mouth, I wasn't born, I was bullied when I was a kid. I have all these stuff happen to me, But when you understand that life can be better, not on the other side, but we can make it better today. So, and I will rant some more of this, but so I remember when I was in the dorm with my friend, so we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? And what happened was, we were at the table, and I remember very clearly how we were playing. I was playing, I was playing Elemental Heroes deck, right? And what happened was, I was dealt with a bad hand, a very bad hand. I was losing. We were playing. What happened was, he was winning. He still had, well, they had points, right? In the show they had 4,000 points, but in in real life situation for games, it's 8,000. I'm not sure now. It's different. It's way different now. Now when it comes to that, he had 8,000, and then I'm down to 800. I'm about to reach 0. And what happened is, here's the thing. That's the key point the main point that I'm trying to say. That I changed the situation. I turned it around, and I tried to focus. How can I win the situation, right? I remember that I was like, yo, but I didn't give up. I knew that there was hope. There was hope to win this game. So I turned around. He lost. He went to 0. Remember, he had 8,000 and I have 800. He lost. I draw a card and I try to figure a way how to beat. Well, not that sounds wrong, but defeat my friend. There you go. Defeat my friend deck. So I won. So even if you were dealt with bad hands, what you can do is make your life better today. It doesn't start tomorrow. It doesn't start later. But it starts today. Every situation, every moment, I think that we're not victim of circumstances. If we choose to be, right? If we stay stuck there, we can change our pathways to go the other way, right? And when it comes to life situation, let's say you didn't have the education, you have a choice to get an education, right? But you chose not to. That's the thing. How can we get an education? Let's say you didn't go to university. Let's say that you don't have a lot of going for you. What you need to do is figure out to become resourcefulness, to figure a way without using any capital, without any, let's say you don't have any credential or capital or the people behind you. What you must do is find a way to get to where you want to go. We live in an amazing era, through Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and emails. We can reach out to people if we want to. Go into Facebook group. But in order to change, you must change. It starts with you. It doesn't start with the other person. It starts with you. And it would come to that. If you're complaining about you're not getting education, so many of us say that we don't have education, we're not smart enough, I'm stupid. But the fact is that you're still here. That your brain has an amazing ability to learn, to absorb information at a level that nobody understands. Of course, when it comes to AI, that's different. But I'm not talking about AI right now. I'm talking about you. There are books on Amazon. Okay, there's books, that successful people write to help you to navigate life situation, and it's not always easy. It's not the quick fix, but it's about becoming who you wanted to be. And there are a lot of people who didn't go to school, but they self-educate themselves through books, through videos, through blogs, or audio. What type of books I'm talking about? Well, they call self-help books, right? These self-help books can help you increase your intelligence, increase your awareness, increase the strategy, the even if you were dealt with bad hands. Usually how people become successful is they take other, what Tony Robbins said, model. If you want to become successful, you want to model others, right? And when it comes to modeling, you have to find the person who go where you want to go, 20 years ahead of you, right? And if you can't, and also if you can't, there are people out there who have knowledge, right? Like you can call them a mentor, and they'll guide you. There's mentor of any kind, like they have large knowledge base, or they're kind where they guide you to where you want to go. Excuse me. But you're never stuck. It's a choice that you make. It's because you stay there. You stay stuck because we sometimes become a victim of our own minds. And our own minds, right? Even if, let's say you want to become successful, right? And you don't have the money, you don't have the car, you don't have the house, what do you do then? You figure a way to get where you want to go without those things. And you say, I can hear it. How is that even possible? It's because when you hear, like Tony Robbins and Marie Forleo, when you hear those people say, a lot of people, let's say for instance, a lot of people who have lots of money, but complain and they're stuck. But there's another person who was broke, who don't have anything handed to them. They find a way. Why is that? Why? What's the difference? The difference is the one that doesn't have anything have everything. Like they have a wall that they have. Their back is against the wall. They're hungry. They're hungry for something more, and they're so hungry that they want that success, and they're willing to stake the risk, even if they fall flat on their face. When it comes to living your life dreams, I believe it's possible. I'm living my life dreams now. I get to. Because we can use social media to, I think we can use social media to connect with people. I'm friends with authors. It's always been my dream to actually to associate myself with like-minded people, even if it's online. Because rarely do you find people in your neighborhood, or there are some, but rarely do you find any people who are open-minded, or into what you're into. And even if you're dealt with bad hand, I think there's a way to get out of it. And you say, I don't know, in situation is impossible. Well, you gotta ask the question: who is holding you hostage? It's you. Remember, your mind. Your mind can become I don't want to say it, but hell or heaven. It can become those two. If you choose to direct it into the direction, you got to use your brain in a way that helps you, not hurts you. Because it can go both ways, right? It can hurt you or help you in the long run. Everything that we imagine to be, we can achieve. It's not always, it take a certain amount of audacity to be able to say, yeah, I do want this. And maybe you're at a tough spot right now and challenge is going your way, But, I think there will always be challenges ahead. We will never escape from it, right? But when it comes down to it, everything is figureoutable, like Marie Forleo said. Everything. So don't say, oh, I can't figure it out. You can. And don't complain. Don't moan and whine about it. So that's it for I got for today. Remember, you can change your situation. You can change you. You don't have to be stuck with a person you don't like to be. And they say, you know what they say. So what they say is, I forgot what they said. Hold on. I'm trying to say, be yourself, right? That they always say, be yourself. But that's part true. But what if you don't like yourself? What then? You're disgusted with yourself. Well, if you're disgusted with yourself, you don't like yourself, the only person that can change that is you. You can change you. No one else can. Nobody else can. Sure, they can, persuade you to doing things, but only you can change. Alright. So my message is, no matter how many bad hands you were dealt with, I was dealt with bad hands, but I make the most of it. I make the most of what I had. But even then, no matter how hard my situation is, I will try to figure a way to get what I want. Listen, and listen carefully. It is you, right? It is you. If you understand that there are ways to get where you want to go, don't be a victim. Subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I'll see you on the next one.